Warsh will tackle will be inflation. Fresh economic data this morning show inflation remains sticky. July PCE, personal consumption expenditure, came in mixed, but core inflation, that's ex-food and energy, which tend to be very volatile, month over month came slightly hotter at 0.2%, and year over year at 3.3% for core. It did not budge off June's number. That's got Treasury yields resuming their march higher. 10-year yield right now up just a basis point here, or actually 3 basis points to 4.66%. 30-year is the one that's up just 1 basis point, but still just slightly below 5.2% at 5.18. Let's get right to the floor show to sort through all that's ahead in, forget the week, the final hour, Kenny, and what comes after it. SlateStone Wealth chief market strategist Kenny Polcari is here. Kenny, you can't ignore Nvidia, obviously. With all your past years of experience as a trader, quickly distilling earnings, what will you be looking for most closely in the report?
I got to be honest with you. I think everyone's going to be listening to what he says about the third quarter because the earnings are going to be history. The market's already expecting it. It's really going to want to hear what the number is. And look, the whisper number on the street is $104 billion for third quarter revenues, right? And so if he disappoints, anything less than 104 is going to be viewed as, negative, and they'll slam the stock. 104 will be viewed as, well, okay, still think they'll hit it. He's got to come in well above it. I think he's got to come in at somewhere like 106, 107 for it to be suddenly for people to go, oh, okay, this is a good number, and they'll end up buying it. But look, Nvidia always gets hit first after the report comes out, and then they'll come back and take it higher. I suspect it's going to be the same, but if you really want to know what I'm looking at, I'm looking at what that whisper number is going to be. Is he going to beat it? I'm not worried about, what he's going to say about the second quarter because I don't think he's going to disappoint at all. And in the end, all Jensen has to do, he's got to come out and just justify the whole AI thesis across the board. That's all he has to do. No big deal.
Well, what about talking or addressing the concerns that the market appears to have? Gets rather jittery when it sees all of these spending deals. And it's interesting because, like we said at the top of the show, Nvidia's really started to do some creative financing, almost like a bank, right, backstopping or investing in all kinds of hyperscalers and AI platforms and startups. Listen, they've always invested in startups. They have a whole division for that. But this is different and bigger than that. And it's got people concerned that there may be too much daisy chain integration, and if one of those daisies within the chain starts to rot, that could be a problem.
Well, and that's exactly the point, right? Because, look, we've been talking about it. It's not like nobody knows about this. We've been talking about that circular financing in the whole industry. And so, but the market seems to be okay with it. But to your point, all you need is one to fail or one to suddenly run into a problem. And you're right, it's going to be a chain reaction right down the whole list. And so, yes, I guess we'll hear about what he has to say about that. I don't think he's going to say anything negative for sure. I think he's going to continue to try to accentuate all the positives. And I think there are plenty of positives. But let's see how the market reacts. It is, to your point, the biggest earnings report at the moment, and everyone is paying attention. And like I said, I'm not going to be surprised if we see the first reaction to hit it, if the trader types try to sell it off. But then I think he's not going to disappoint, and I think he's going to be very positive going forward. And so then I think Nvidia responds then, whether it's tomorrow, I think it'll be fine. Yeah. I'm not selling my Nvidia on this report. I'm going to hold it and see what happens.
It's so interesting because the last 14 quarters, Nvidia has beaten both the top and bottom line, and yet the last 5 quarters, the stock's dumped out for the couple of days afterward.
Exactly.
But again, we've got Jensen live. We've got Jensen in my one-on-one interview tomorrow. I hope everybody DVRs that or stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I want to tell you something. My 22-year-old son says to me this morning, "Mom, I love watching tech stocks, but how come nobody's talking about the fact that Coca-Cola has outperformed year to date all the other Mag 7 names? Year to date, Coke is up about 29%. That's a 3-month, but yeah, about 29%. And if you look at it compared, Kenny, to say Tesla's underperformed. Microsoft has underperformed when it comes to Coca-Cola. Everybody else, we can cycle through them. You got Apple and Nvidia, comparing doesn't work. Amazon, Alphabet, still below.
But, there's a world beyond technology out there. And that's exactly the point that you and I talk about all the time is, developing and designing a well-balanced portfolio. And look, consumer staples didn't do a whole lot last year, but they're outperforming to your point this year. And Coke is just one example. I mean, I threw a couple of others at you. Target, look at Archer Daniels Midland. They're up 74 and 38%, well outperforming the Mag 7. And so all that goes... Yeah, year to date. Yeah. And all that goes to tell you is that there is opportunity elsewhere. It's not all about, sexy AI names. There are consumer staple names. And while some people may think they're boring, why would you want them? Look at them outperforming the Mag 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Year to date, Archer Daniels Midland up 38%. Right. But I think you're right. People need to not sort of let their eyes glaze over and say, I'm bored when it comes to so-called boring stocks. That said, we're looking at kind of a boring day on the markets, sort of straddling the flat line here. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, mixed picture. But you suspect that it'll be a bit different tomorrow once we know the Nvidia numbers.
I think it's going. We're going to find out right away at 4:10 this afternoon. We'll see how it reacts in the aftermarket, and then then I suspect it's going to affect tomorrow. Because to your point, it's such a heavy weighting in the S&P. If it's a negative number and they slam Nvidia, then you can suspect it's going to pull the whole broad market lower. If it's the other way, if they love what they hear and the stock goes higher, we'll expect to see the S&P and the broader market move higher tomorrow. So I think that'll just be temporary once they sort it out, and then people will go back to looking at individual sectors and names, but broadly, that'll be the first reaction.
Kenny, you got a lot of energy here. I'm excited about this. Thank you very much. Kenny Polcari.
Bye-bye.